so I'm actually talking over this after I've recorded the video, so this is not me playing the game live. But I will be talking about some difficult parts of this journey and getting this trailer to where it needs to go, and just kind of point out things that you might need to know as we go along here. So, yeah. Number one of the big things you need to realize that you're hauling a very large trailer here, and you need to take these turns extremely wide and just kind of take up as much space as you possibly can with these turns, because this is a huge trailer and you're going to need all the space you can get, even if that requires you to go off the road to give you enough room to move that trailer around the corner. That's what you should do, and just play it safe. It's not a race. You don't have to go as fast as you can. Just really try your best to keep this trailer stable and use up as much space as you can in order to actually keep this thing on the road. And now there's a few times in this that I do get stuck, and I'll point those out, and I'll point out things you need to avoid as well. But yeah, like right here, I am taking up as much space as I possibly can. I'm even riding the hill right here just to try and get this trailer through, and especially through these tight rocks right here. I believe I even get stuck here just a little bit, because I am really taking all that space as much as I can get, and even when I take all that space, it's still, I barely get through and actually get stuck on the rock here. What I really needed to do was go straight forward and just make sure get this trailer as clear from the rock as you possibly can before you start turning. Just like this, pull out a little bit more, make sure you don't hit this light pole, and just take as much space and as much time as you possibly can. Yeah, of course I hit it there too, but yeah, really just be careful and plan how you're going to take your turns with this trailer. And here's another place I got stuck right here. I just had to winch my way out a little bit. I believe the back end of the trailer got caught on the hill, or maybe even my truck just didn't have enough power to pull it back up. But it's okay to get stuck a little bit like that, especially when you have winch points that are available. Use your winch as much as you possibly can. It's just going to make your life easier, because there are even more times in this that I do get stuck, sometimes pretty bad. But as long as you're close to trees, staying on the edge of the road, close to light poles, you should be able to get your way out of it. We have another relatively tight rock area right here, and I believe I learned from my past mistake. I even drive over this rock a little bit and pull out as straight as I can before I actually start turning. And even then, it's barely getting through. It's really scraping both sides of the rock there. But as long as you have the power, you need to have a powerful truck. I'm using the Royal BM17, which is good. Another good truck to use is the International Pace Star 5070. I think that's the numbers behind it. Those two trucks are really good for this, especially. Here's kind of a good overview of the route I'm taking, just from the factory. You're staying on the main road until you get up to this point ahead where you have to make a small turn, which I'll point out. But really, you're just staying on the paved road all the way from the factory to this little turn off right here that we're about to get to. And right about now we're coming up on where we need to make the turn. This will just turn us onto this dirt road right here. Now this dirt road can be pretty annoying at times. Now I believe I go over the route I took right here. Yeah, so there's a fuel station pointing that out. It's this little tiny road, goes right by these two towers, and just straight over the wooden bridge into the drilling site. Make sure you have that wooden bridge into the drilling site built, because that is required for this route that I'm taking right now. But really, especially when you get up on the dirt, you want to be careful. Like I'm in low for a second, but then I just kind of get bored and throw it into auto and get moving. But yeah, there's no point in not using what you have, so I have all-wheel drive on, and I use it the entire rest of the route, really. Even if I don't need it, it's good to have it on just in case. And right here, there's a big mud hole to the left that I skip over, which is really important, because you will get stuck in that mud. You need to go around that mud hole to the right, like I did here, because you will get stuck in that mud, I guarantee you. That is some bad mud right there. Make sure to point it out for you here. It is really bad. Last time I did this, that was the bane. That was horrible. But now you know to go around it so don't get stuck in it like I did. Coming up here, we're going to be making a turn. It's pretty smooth sailing for the next few seconds or so. But up here, we're going to make a pretty tough turn. Probably the toughest turn in the entire route. But it's definitely doable. Coming up right here, I'm trying to make this turn as wide as I possibly can. I believe the trailer even starts tipping pretty bad, and it kind of scares me for a second. But I'm really doing my best and I'm trying to drive out here as fast as I can, with as straight as I can as well. But as you can see, even with that, all those precautions, I still get pretty stuck here. And I try a few different winch points, and none of them seem to work. Like this one right here just kind of pulls me to the side. It gets loose a little bit, but even then it still doesn't seem like it's enough. I start breaking all the other winch points with it. So I think I reverse a little bit here, see if I can't try and find a new angle to get out of it. But couldn't really reverse that much. But basically you're not really stuck on it, or I wasn't really stuck on anything in this situation. The back wheels my truck did not have enough power to pull those back wheels of the trailer up off this little mound it's stuck on. Because this is a very steep turn that you have to take right here. Those wheels right there were not going anywhere. They were as good as planted right there. So eventually I'd use the manual winch, and I'd find some good winch points in the back just to find my way out. The winch is an absolute lifesaver here. It got us over that no problem. And then the rest of the journey is pretty simple. You just need to be careful because this mud gets a little deep over here before the bridge. And really after the bridge, it's smooth sailing because it's just straight to the drilling site. And be careful going across the bridge as well. Make sure you're lined up because you don't want to get this far in the journey and then fall off because of the bridge. That would be such a horrible way to end it. And I actually get a little scared here because this trailer starts tipping pretty bad. That was completely me. I was just a little off in that turn right there. So luckily nothing bad really happened. It didn't go over. I just drove forward, but that really gave me a heart attack right there. I was really scared I was going to mess that up. And yeah, just like that, you're back where you need to be. And once you deliver this trailer, it feels like a huge weight is lifted off your chest. Because this is probably the hardest part of the early game, is this trailer right here. Just because there's so many places where the trip can go wrong. In so many ways it can be messed up. But it feels so nice to finally get this drilling site finished. And you get a nice paycheck too. 7,000. That's really, really good. So that's a good add-on to it. And I believe I go back to the garage here and show off what exactly I'm running in my car, or my truck. Just the Royal BM17. You can find it in Alaska. I believe it's one of the trucks that are hidden in Northport that you have to go find. It is now, there's one thing about it I don't like is it has no diff lock. You can't upgrade it or anything to get diff lock. However, I've used it for a little while now, and it doesn't seem like it needs diff lock in many situations. This thing is just a powerhouse. It's very fuel efficient. It's very good in the engine. Such a terrible way to put it, but it's very strong. How about that? It has a very strong engine, and it's just fun to drive. Of course, you could always use the International Paystar 5070. That works just as well. But yeah, that's about how you do it. It's a fun drive.